Hey, Spirit Essence Gang, audience, new people to our space. I'm Tara Diana. This is the Spirit Essence Show. I am the empowerment medium who brings you all the new vibes. I am always on the lookout for new people doing this spiritual wellness and metaphysical work. And I am so excited. When I say excited, I know I'm excited about everything. You guys always tell me that. But I am so excited to have Jeri Cates, transformational coach, with me today. I've had the pleasure of having her in one of our Soul to Soul summits, and I'm excited. Jeri, welcome to the Spirit Essence Show, girlfriend.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
look at the bed of roses, you guys. Like, take a look at that. Red for rooting, presence, grounding. She's here with all the good intentions. Jeri, welcome to the show again. I'm so happy to have you here. You did some work on the Soul to Soul summits with us, and there was a outpouring of love for you. They loved your message. They loved what you were talking about. And so I would like you to kind of introduce yourself, please, to the new audience members here that are watching us, and let us know what you do and why you do it.
Oh, okay. So I think it should start in sharing that I'm a retired nurse and nurse practitioner.
Ah,
So I've been, I retired a few years ago. I started my coaching journey long before that. I was looking for answers.
mm,
I had a controlling mom and things didn't go well, and I was overgiving and codependent, and I was always looking for answers. Got involved in some churches, early on, learned about metaphysics when I was in my 20s. And it's been an ongoing process. But because I've faced so many challenges, I have a way of sharing that empowers. And that's what I do.
I
I
love it.
empower women, yeah, to live better lives. To,
Oh,
yeah. I have one client, she said one day, and I'll never forget it. She goes, I get to decide what happens to me next.
right? Right? And how empowering is it that you got to show her that she could do that? We
Mhm.
forget. Our humanness forgets that we can do free will choice. I love it. Go on.
Well, I've just I got involved in, I guess it was, let's see, in 2013, I got involved in what was then called Feminine Power. Now that it's the Center for Women Centered Coaching Institute, and I'm recertifying with them.
Okay.
So I'm partnering up with them.
Nice.
Um, so we talk about, like, there's three main things in it, or three main peers, and it's about connection to self,
Hmm.
connection to spirit, and connection to others. So connection to self, we're taking this big umbrella of shame that has all kinds of other stuff under there.
Right.
I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, all of those false identities. How we heal that is with empathy. We
Mm,
heal it with empathy, with deep empathy. And we're already, if we're overgiving or focused on others, we're already pretty empathic, whether we realize it or not.
truth. No lie
Yeah,
detected.
yeah.
Absolutely.
The second tier about um, connection to spirit, well, the opposite of that is lack and limitation. So when I'm in, or when I'm not going to claim that for me, when someone's in lack and limitation, they are disconnected from spirit. So there's a whole part in reconnecting, right? And I love the exercise. I've done this exercise where I'll get some women together in like a round table and have them all talk about their idea of what religion is or what God is
Mm.
in
Oh,
a
my
safe
trigger.
place where no one is going to judge. We're just going to be open and let everybody unpack it. And when we've done that, we do an exercise. It's like a meditation, a power practice in connecting to spirit and seeing yourself as co-creator with spirit.
Ooh.
But it's such a process to go through that of everybody unpacking.
Mm-hmm.
So, we really have a good idea of spirit, and it's so freeing to be able to talk about it in a safe space. And then the third part, connection to others, the opposite of that is isolation. So, I can be someone who am invisible, right? I make myself invisible. I do
Yes.
things that makes me invisible. And then I wonder why no one's there for me. I detour them, or,
Yeah.
we need each other to grow, to thrive. We need each other to become ourselves. We need each other.
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And here's something interesting. When you were talking about that whole a group of people together talking about religion, I think that is one of the most powerful things you can chat about. Now, for me, we have my partner in my podcast, Spirit Angels and Guides, oh my, she's absolutely committed to having a show called Tara's Triggers. And one of the biggest triggers for me is the whole religion philosophy, the whole ideology behind it and where it comes from. And not from a place, I was not brought up religious at all. Fundamentally, the usual Lord's prayers and things like that you teach your children. But oh my goodness, those kinds of things are things that need to be talked about in safe circles, absolutely, without Tara coming in like a bull in a china shop going, hey, no, no, no. So you hold these kinds of spaces and this leads to transformation, I would assume,
Mhm.
in
Oh
mindset.
yeah. Well, and like here's like imagine, and I used to do this when I was a nurse practitioner, and if I had a patient that was feeling victimized,
Okay.
right? So I would talk about, I'd be sitting in my chair and I'd go, okay, this is the victim chair. And this is the chair where everybody's doing this to me. I don't have any power, and I named some of the things. And then I got up and walked across the room, sat in another chair and said, this is the chair of possibility.
Yeah.
This is where I ask, I wonder what internal resources I have, what external, who can I turn to? What, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
having that gift. So the thing is getting to the point of understanding in our life with all the negative story or all the stuff that has happened to us that we're holding on to, is understanding that that's the old story. And if I was being victimized, or I felt victimized, imagine a big pie and cut out 5%. All you got to do is take 5% responsibility. But here's the catch: you expand to 100% of that 5%. It helps people shift from victim, because they can find a place to stand and
Yes.
be in their power and start to grow from there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just want to mention this. When I'm listening to you and I'm listening to the words that you're saying, a lot of the work that we do as practitioners, whether it be we call ourselves empowerment mediums or transformational coaches or whatnot, we are all adhering to the same idea or the thought process of really sitting in your power. And we all call it something slightly different or whatnot. But the sitting in your power, and we were talking about this the other day, and I'd love to get your viewpoint on this. We were talking about the word control. And some people, no, control is a terrible word. And I said to them, I said, you know what, control, I find the word control empowering. And let me tell you why. It is what you make of it. If you want control to be a disempowering word or a
Mhm.
negative intonation to it, then you can have that. But for me, when I sit in my power, I'm taking control of my space. I'm taking control of my situation. Doesn't mean I can control everything within the situation, but I have the free will choice to go down this path or this path because I am in control. And people were having a very deep discussion about the word control, and I really felt like they were missing the point. They were so focused on the word in the humanist form, they were missing the potential of what the word can provide.
And it reminds me of, like, all years ago, even when I was a nurse practitioner, I would hold these classes in the community. And I asked this group of men and women once about, how do you feel when you hear or the word discipline?
Hmm.
Oh, in trouble. Mom's gonna get the switch. I'm in trouble. And I told them that the word, it comes from the word disciple. It means to teach. A
Wow, girl.
whole different way of looking at it. And that goes back to what you were saying. It's all in the connotation in our beingness around that. Who are we being? I'm being, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm, it's not about I'm not being controlled. I am controlling my space, not controlling others. And that speaks to another thing just really quickly here that I found super interesting is last night I was holding a circle. And in the circle we were doing high intention empowerment work. And I told everyone to tap into their higher selves and to take one word. I didn't want to hear a whole sentence. I didn't want to hear, because sometimes we get excited and we have to. I said one word, and I did the exercise myself. I always participate. And the word I got was discernment. And when I
Mm.
said to spirit, I know what it means. I said, why me? Why this word? And literally what I got is that I have a good judge of character. I have a good judge of character. Well, good energy is what I look for, bar none. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for accepting that. Thank you for understanding that of me. And I feel like other people would take discernment and be like, oh, we need to be judging people. Mm-mm. It was already, for me, an explanation of what I do. I am a good judge of people. I know what comes into my space and what works well. Hence why you're sitting here with me, right? But as a transformational coach, I think it's important that you're doing this work so that others can retrain themselves in some ways to see things from a different light, because we get very caught in our humanness. So I love that for you.
Yes, I did a round table. I do these occasionally, and what we do is go through this process, and I'm asking questions, and we're talking about procrastination. I my people follow me because they're procrastinating and they want some help. But we did this process, and I asked questions, and she came to the answer. She came to the outcome, what she's going to have to do. And it's such a powerful way to coach somebody, or to facilitate generative questions.
Yeah.
So I saw her on a call yesterday, and she said, "Oh my gosh, that was so powerful. I got this and this and this out of it." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
awesome."
Excellent. I want to ask you something before we draw to a close. I want to ask you, uh, if is there anything that you wish you had known before you got into the transformational coaching? Is there anything that you wished you'd had a little better idea of, or
Trust myself, believe in myself.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
uh, yeah, believe in myself. Because I've held myself back because I was afraid. Although I was courageous in a lot of ways, but
sure.
you know, and it's really not, oh, I messed up or whatever. It's like, wow, I could learn from this. But to trust myself more, to know that I have a purpose, to I mean, as a new nurse, I was afraid they'd find out I didn't know what I was doing. That's how I'm
Right?
sure I'm not the only one,
I'm
but
I'm sure
that's
you're not either, Boo. I'm sure you're not either. And the thing was, you did know what you were doing. You just lacked the experience to make you
right.
feel like you knew what you were doing,
Well,
right?
and that's the thing. When we're with a client, we see a bigger possibility than they even know is possible.
Hmm.
That's how we help them get there.
That's exactly right. That is exactly it. We can see it. And I love that, because we have been conditioned. When I say we, I'm talking, I've moved myself out of that space. I trust spirit. I trust myself. I trust the work I do is for the highest and best of myself first, and then others, because if I don't work on myself, I cannot help
Right.
others. So I trust all that energy, and I know the good vibes are happening. And I feel that as you call yourself a transformational coach, I call myself an empowerment medium. As I said before, I feel that we have the tools to help others see their potential, because we have, again, been conditioned, preconceived notions, teachings, whatever, that we are not enough. We are always should be striving for something more. And although I do believe we should always be striving, learning, developing, and growing, it's from a place of self-worth and self-love, not from a place of expectation or judgment from others. And I feel that you come to the table, and I feel that your talks, your work, your roundtable, and I would love to do a roundtable with you. And I think my audience would love that. So we're going to talk about that for, you know, in the next month or so. We'll talk about that, see if I can get you on board with me and the Spirit Essence Gang. And I just want to say to you, I appreciate that you have come to the table. I appreciate that you're part of the spiritual and wellness community, because not only are you a beautiful soul, you're authentic in the work. You have experience backing you up in this, and I feel that's important as well.
Thank you. Thank
You,
you.
you
My
are
pleasure.
You are so welcome, girlfriend. How do we find you? How do we find you? Where are you,
I'm
girlfriend?
on Facebook, Jeri Cates, the Courage and Grace coach. I'm listed that way.
Ooh,
But
I
I'm
like
on
that.
there's a story behind it. But yeah, let's see. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. But it's Jeri Cates. Go to my personal Facebook page,
Nice, nice.
right? Jeri
And we're going
Cates.
to have that all in there for you, gorgeous.
Yeah.
We're going to have that all in there so they can find you, and they can be like, hey, and I know you're part of Empowering Intuitive Souls. I know that you're doing you're doing another summit with us, which may be already finished by the time this comes out onto YouTube. But there is beautiful ways to find Jeri in my community. She is a lovely person that speaks her truth. She has high integrity, which is big in my world. And I want to say this to you, Jeri, my heart to you for joining me today. Love you, girl.
Thank you.
Okay, we will leave it at that. Bye, everyone. Hey, and remember, if you are not doing the work, take a step back, grab a deep breath, and remind yourself it's okay. It doesn't have to be today. There's always tomorrow.